Member Cordova,
Present.
Member Cisneros. We do have a quorum, Mr. President.
Next, Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the symbol of perfect friendship amongst many cultures.
Next item, approval of agenda.
I'd like to make a motion, or not a motion, but a suggestion for a change. A suggestion for a change. Moving item A on new business to recognize Mr. James Archuleta for years of service up to presentation right before the chair presentation.
Moving new business A to front of presentation.
Yes.
Can you move that?
Yeah, it's a presentation.
Well, I think because it's not an action item, I think that's the only reason why. Yeah, if it's an action item, we can do it. I'll make a motion with such changes.
Second.
Our first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
He's good.
Next item is approve, amend, or disapprove prior meeting minutes for the special board meeting on June 23rd.
Make a motion to approve minutes of special school board meeting, June 23rd, 2025.
Second.
A first and second discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Abstain.
Motion carries. Next item is welcome and introduction of guests. Any guests, Mr. M?
We have a few guests. We have some of our cheer team. We have Miss Connie out here. Mr. Valenzuela, which you guys have met before. Miss Kelsey Mead from UNM House. So we do have a few new faces. in
Ms. Ritterhouse,
Miss Ritterhouse,
Media section.
Mr. Crown.
Mr. Crabb in the back. So
Well, thank you all.
additional people.
Thank you all for coming and attending our board meeting. It's important to the public knows what goes on and what we're doing here, and it's always best with participation. So appreciate you guys. Thank you. I didn't see any public comment on the.
No public comment.
Okay, next we'll move on to presentations, and we will do recognition of Mr. James Archuleta.
Yes, sir. So kind of take that. We did invite Mr. Archuleta out, but he's retired. He's kind of hit or miss.
Enjoying it?
Yeah.
So I do want to present to you guys, this is a little plaque that we've kind of put together for him, just to thank him for his service and his years. Just basically in recognition of outstanding dedication, service, and commitment to education. And the students at Questa in the school district, your years of hard work, leadership, and passion have left a lasting impact. As you retire, we honor your legacy and celebrate your many accomplishments. Thank you for your unwavering support, tireless effort, and positive difference you made in so many lives. Wishing you a healthy and joyful fulfillment and well-deserved retirement. So we'll get this to Mr. Archuleta at some point in time.
Mr. President.
Sir.
How many years do you have here at this district?
He was.
What's going on?
It's an exact number for Mr. Torres once he can pull his file, but it was in the 20s, I believe it was about 23, 24 years. And it was his retirement from his previous employer as well, and that gave him his 25 plus years. So
Very cool.
All right, well, let's move on to the 2025-26 cheer team.
So I'll give this over to Miss Maria Medina. This was kind of asked for upon, by the board from the last meeting to kind of talk a little bit about choreography, music, what's required in dance or cheer and what are the portions. So I'll kind of hand it over to her if you're good to go, Miss Medina.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for allowing us to be here. We understand that there were some questions about choreography. I do have some papers for you guys. To you. And it just shows like the competition guidelines, our like the rubric of what we are judged on, technical, game day, cheer with music as well. So thank you. So we just kind of wanted to like just give you guys some information about cheer. I guess you need to. So the reason why we are asking for choreography is cheer is not easy. It is one of the harder sports that we do have. And in all honesty, we have a hard time like finding time to choreograph a routine. Since we do have dual sport athletes, games every other day, it's hard to kind of find the time to do it ourselves. So that is why we bring in professionals. And I understand like there was a question, well, are we going to do this for other teams? You could find them. I mean, this is what we've been doing for the past 5 years. This is our 6th year here. They teach us the skills that we need to succeed in this competitive sport. Because out of all of the classes, we are the biggest. Out of A2A, we compete against about 18 teams. Okay, so that's kind of why we're needing it. And then the music, I know there was questions about music. The music is licensed because it goes to our theme of the year, and it has Wildcat, QHS, just stuff that we ask for it in there. Sorry, I'm not a very good public speaker.
It's okay.
I stay behind the scenes. That's why they're in the front. So, and we understand it's expensive. It's an expensive sport. This is like why we like to fundraise, so we could help give back to, the pot. We just finished a camp, actually. Antonito Cheer reached out asking us to give their varsity cheer camp. And this was day 2 of it, and it was very good. The girls are exhausted, sore. They had 10 girls come out. And then we also have, we got a cheer competition this year. So we got our cheer competition this year that will be held in December. What else did you have to this? And we just want to say that with this choreography, like, we have been successful. Since we started, this is going to be our 6th year coaching. First year we took 4th. We were still kind of new, COVID year. 2nd year 1st, 3rd year 1st, 4th year 2nd, 5th year 1st. So we're kind of like, it's working. It's. Do you guys have any questions?
Just in terms of like your camps and the competition that you hosted, what did that generate revenue wise?
So the last time we hosted a competition, it was close to $5,000. This year, we're kind of hoping for the same turnout. It is extremely early. We were kind of heading for a January, February competition. These competitions are on a first come, first serve basis. So by the time we got kind of everything approved and settled on both NMAA and our end, they only had November 15th, November 22nd, and December 20th available. No, December 20th it was. So we're hoping to kind of bring in the same amount. We were hoping for a later date because that's when everybody's scrambling, trying to get their last minute competitions in.
Mhm.
So we could have brought in some good revenue, but yeah. And we also didn't do our megaphone drive this year, which usually brings in like close to $4,000 as well.
And like, future fundraisers.
Future fundraisers, we would still like to do the megaphone drive. I mean, that's always a good thing. We are wanting to host a miniature camp. We've been getting a lot of people asking about it. So we want to kind of do that when school starts. So that way it's easier to get the younger kids.
Shuffled around,
Yeah. So that's another one. And then, like I said, we have the cheer competition. And then we're always looking for ways to fundraise just to, you know, put into the pot. And then we always help out with our concessions as well.
Great.
Yeah.
Mr. President,
Sure.
I think one of the biggest questions was, I think what we're talking about is just trying to be fair. And when we look at the breakdown that Domingo gave us, the cheer had the highest cost, of course.
Okay, yeah.
And so what we're saying is, and nothing against it, we're trying to figure out is if we're putting X amount, we got to start figuring out how to put X amount to all these other sports. And then that starts to add up quite a bit. So we're trying to make it fair. We're not trying to play anything down. We just want to see, all right, is choreography a must per the guidelines? Is it not? We didn't know. And that's why it was like, well, let's just bring them in. That way we can ask.
Yeah,
The
no,
music, we know it has to be licensed, so there's no way around that.
there's no way around that.
Yep.
And if you look around with our choreographers, it's actually one of the cheapest ones compared to going off on your own. And I understand that.
Mhm.
And I was also looking at that budget as well. So there was an extra like $11,000 towards the mats. So that's not a yearly thing. That's
Right.
once in a, 10, 15 years. So there's 11,000 off of that.
Yep.
Another thing is like when we do concessions, it's kind of hard when they're not consistent. So like cheer usually does soccer because it's the easiest because we cheer for every sport. But when you have 8 hot dogs put in for you, how are you supposed to generate money off of that? When other sports have concessions and they have pizza, nachos, chili, so it's kind of not fair across the board on that part. I understand soccer's not a big thing, but still, that would help out.
And the concession thing, I don't think they had a breakdown of who did what and all that. So I don't think we should judge it based on that. I mean, if you get Mora and you get the contestant for Mora, well,
That's great.
Mora brings fans and they always generate a huge revenue. And it's not fair.
And then another thing that kind of went against us last year was not having that cheer competition.
Yeah.
So, and we're trying to bring it every year. Me and Mr. Maldonado sat down before state. We picked a date. Okay, the date was picked. I actually got an email from NMAA saying, hey, coach, the form is going out. It's on a first come, first serve basis. Make sure you get this done. Okay, we got it done. And then some stuff happened and it got taken away. And then we had to do another one and we were at the bottom of the poll. That's why we were hoping for that later competition so we get more teams. So there's also like a lot of stuff. Because if we would have done that cheer competition, it would have covered a lot of our stuff.
Yeah. And because one of the things that we talked about was like, well, if football, basketball, if they wanted to bring an outside coach to help volleyball, whatever it is, well, we want to make sure that we're allowing that. And we start to put some sort of a cap on something, but we didn't know what that was. It was just like, all right, if volleyball came to us and say, all right, I need an expert, we're bringing in this coach from a university or something.
Well,
We want to make sure we can cover that. And
it's
we
not
may,
dollar for dollar.
yeah,
It's just we have to offer the same
But
experience.
Yeah.
so my thing is these other teams go to camps. They travel to camps. Yeah, it's not with the school, but I haven't seen other teams come in here ask for professionals to come in.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
So,
They have not.
so I'm
Soccer
kind of
does.
like a little
Yeah,
like,
soccer does.
Soccer's the only one I think that does, yeah.
because like volleyball went to Moriarty. They didn't have to come in here and be like, hey, can you guys pay for it? It got paid.
Was that non-school related?
Yeah, so.
We approved them, we brought them to for
The
approval
travel.
anyway, it's just for the travel purposes, it's not school related on that end. But they do, some of them do still get like donations from Intact or from these other places that will donate to them in order for them to use that money. It's not, like when they travel, they don't represent, like they don't wear anything that says.
But are we accepting those funds or?
It's not coming through the
Those don't
school?
come- those don't
If it doesn't
to
come
us.
through us, then it's.
They don't come to us, so.
You gotta, the summer league thing is a whole different.
Yeah.
Weird animal.
Yeah, it's none of it is sanctioned by NMAA.
'Cause I
The only
paid for
part-
lunches a
The
couple
only
times on
part that
basketball.
you have to be cautious with the NMAA when it comes to summer stuff is if we had kids that were over here practicing from Taos and then they decided to leave Taos and come play over here, they could get hit with the violation of moving based on a coach. And so that was kind of the discussion I had with NMAA. They don't sanction or follow anything else. Like there's no rules on signing 8th grade participations, no rules on this. It used to be like if you're a head coach, you couldn't coach the sport of whatever, and they did away with all that stuff and kind of moved away from governing it. All they said is just make sure you're doing legal things, and if you have officials, you're paying your officials out of whatever and that type of stuff. But there's not that big. NMAA is not, we're not following everything NMAA wise.
It's just the question was about the equity amongst all sports. So we'd rather have you come and let us know what it is, kind of your,
But then
You're
it's
facing.
also, how many other teams do you see out there trying to raise funds?
well, here's the,
It's,
and we get it. You guys do bring in revenue. So that's kind of what was a little bit off of last year was, right? You didn't get to do your cheer camp, which didn't bring in the revenue. And then also when we purchased the mats so that you guys could have other facility to practice instead of staying late. It was,
even them that asked for it. It was.
A potential middle school.
Yeah.
yeah, but in the sense of helping out so that you guys don't have to wait for that gym
mhm.
till after the basketball games are done or that kind of thing, to give you the opportunity. So we contribute 11 grand there, and then whatever the amount was for the guy to come do your choreography guy, then we started getting questioned, well, hey, you dumped a lot of money into cheer. What happened with baseball? Or how can baseball?
We did
And that's-
baseballs, but it just barely happened the other day.
Yeah, but so we're trying to be equitable, but it's great that you came and let us know, because we didn't have a clue, like, well, is this, but then again, I mean, if you're looking at the reward side of it, you guys did win state, so it's kind of almost a no-brainer if you want to have that level of athletic competition and be able to bring home the trophy. Well, you got to sink some investment into your sport. So I think we're being cooperative in that angle to try and help you guys out. But when it comes to the numbers, then we get questioned. So it's like I said, we just wanted to hear from you guys about it. So
And you won't be the only team that we're gonna ask to come in as well.
But, when do you need to book this or?
So when we got the quote, we were set to start September, our first game day, September 23rd. Because we didn't have a PO in place, they travel everywhere, California, Arizona, Colorado. So after talking to them, we wouldn't be able to have our first day of choreography until like November 21st.
Well, he'll literally give us
A month before our first competition. And if we hold off on it, then it would be later and later and later.
So are you plan on putting it on the agenda? It's the agenda or?
It's here.
It's
So it's on this agenda.
yeah,
So the official start of cheer is November 1st.
the official competition
Right.
is November 1st, because NMAA has stated that cheer is year round.
Yeah.
It's just the competition season
Yeah.
starts November 1st.
I think because one of the things that we talked about too, a lot of everyone's here, we just want to be transparent, is we talked about some of these athletes that are doing 2-3 sports at a time, and it affects the athlete and the teams.
It does.
So we got to figure out that's another pie in the sky type of thing of what are we going to do?
It does. And in all honesty, like our choreographers have been very, very patient with us. I'm not even gonna lie. There was times we had to cancel follow-ups because there were potential basketball games the following day, or potential volleyball games the following day. Or even when we went to state, we practiced with them. They had to wait for us for over an hour. And they waited and waited, and because we didn't leave early enough because of the traffic and because a baseball game was scheduled. And our state dates have already been set. They get set in July.
Yeah.
So it's just, I'm not lying, lack of communication.
And then the small school, that's the thing that we're facing is, and we since I've been here 13 years, we've been talking about it as if
13 years.
He's up to you right away.
just have it here. Where was I going with that?
Small schools.
Small. One of the things we've been talking about is, are we overspread, right? Do we have too much sports? Can the budget handle it? That's the biggest question that's been going on for 13 years. Nothing's ever been cut. But at what point do we get to where we start having to get to those decisions? Hopefully it's after I'm gone.
Well, I think touching on that, Mr. Lovato, and I know this takes us into a whole new thing, is it's not just talking the budget, it's even talking the number of
The
athletes and
participation.
Participation.
Cheer's been good. That's
we've
great.
seen
That's
a-
huge.
We've seen a pretty significant decrease in a lot
Cuts
of
off.
these sports, and that's worrisome when
It
you
is.
start looking at it, because we still have policy we have to follow. I broke it down, and I've talked with our current AC on cutting down games, travel, those types of things. They're pushing them into Fridays and Saturdays because we're trying to avoid what we broke down, just kind of looking at from last year. There's that 15-day a semester policy that they're not supposed to miss more than one class. We had some kids that missed 30+ days because they were multi-sport athletes, and they were doing, and you just take a look at volleyball, and you're traveling at least 15 times just in volleyball. Turn around and you do half of basketball, half of the season, you're about another 12. Some of those kids also played soccer, and some of those kids cheer never travels during the weekdays, so that's not an issue. But there were some of those kids that were 30-day plus. You do that 2 semesters in a row, you're missing almost 60 days of school. We only come to school 157 days. Last year we came to school 150 days.
Well, that's the thing that's the thing that we were supposed to get to is we went to a 4-day to help the kids. We're doing only 150 some days to help the kids. We've looked at the 180-day calendar. Everything was to help the kids, and yet we continue to schedule these during the week when we gave Friday, Saturday for games, understand Thursdays also. Yeah, no, we're killing our students, and this is where Mr. Miller came in, and he let us know exactly, like, these kids are not where they need to be. Let's get them there. The academics come first, and that's a whole different subject. I'm getting off on a whole different area, but we got to start looking at these schedules for these athletic programs to match the school and keep these kids in the classroom as long as we can. We understand there's going to be games that they have to leave, but when you're missing 30 days in a semester, there's no way.
So do you have all the coaching positions are filled?
I have everything but baseball right now and track.
We haven't had a committee meeting yet. And I wish I would have been informed, because what I think we need to do is get them all together and try to figure out what all the asks are gonna be for the year. So to figure out what is it we need right now and what is it gonna cost, and we'll see if we can prepare for that. And if it doesn't happen then, we'll tough luck, but at least if we do it early in the year, it gives us time to prepare to figure out if it's a yes or a no.
So I did meet with coaches. When did I meet with you guys? June sometime, right?
Mhm.
Didn't meet with coaches and we did kind of ask what those needs were. Like those needs of what we need, in order to. for
Mr.
program.
M, I hate to interrupt you, but I think we're way off the mark
Yeah.
from the presentation, so if we do need to do a committee or what you're suggesting, we can put it on the agenda for the next time and we can discuss it in the proper
Athletics will
line
be on
item,
the next
yeah.
administrative. Athletics will be on the next one.
I don't see it.
No, on the next.
That's the next
Oh, on the
meeting.
next meeting? Yeah, we
go
can
back.
do that on the
No
future.
problem.
Put some like that, yeah. Okay, well, thank you, Ms. Madia, for
Mhm.
letting us know and providing us with this information so we can be a little more better informed.
Adversary or anything like that? You guys are cheerleaders,
As a dual sport athlete, we understand that we seem tired and stuff, but we understand what we're signing up for. We know it's a year-round sport, cheers, but we also know that volleyball is going to take a lot out of us, and we know that basketball will too. So we know what we're signing up for, and yeah, we want to do it if we didn't think we can.
Well, then it's evident. We had an athlete last year graduate with her associate's degree and played 3 sports at one time. So,
And
I mean,
like
it's
last
possible.
year, out of the 23 athletes, we had 18 in honor society.
Yeah,
From cheer.
I mean,
Something.
absolutely. I mean, so we do see,
And then just another thing, like our program is growing. We had 9 our first year, 13, 18, 20, 21, and this year we have 25 signed up. So, I mean, our program is succeeding, it is growing. We are getting that want, like that, you know, so.
absolutely. Well, good job on you guys and your support teams and everybody that comes out to ensure that you do have a successful program. And I think, you know, on behalf of the board, we want to continue to see that. And but we have to be equitable as well with the other programs. So it's just kind of our first steps to try and just ensure that the equity is there. So thank you guys for your presentation. Next up, administrative and department reports, maintenance.
Maintenance, sorry, for Mr. Derek, but yeah.
Mr. President, members of the board, hope you're all doing well. Any questions or answers?
I lost my thing here.
Questa. How do you do?
We were there 3 weeks ago. It was all good. They're still working in there. They're adding more stuff in there. Everything looked good. No damage.
No leaks.
No leaks. Yes, that's one thing we did. Everything looked pretty good. Just no action really in there. Just moving a lot of stuff.
Did we have extra lockers in there at one time? Were we gonna bring them over here?
They are at the high school.
All moved, yeah,
They were moved.
all moved. I got no questions.
Thank you, guys. It looks good. Yeah, appreciate all the effort.
So the slab here for the batting cage, did we get the whole cage put together?
Okay,
Yes.
is up.
Nice.
It's all put up good. So we'll probably be the first one to check it out.
To crush
No, but
it.
it is ready to go.
You got water from somewhere.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we did it. man. It was a good workout, but we all ganged up on it and it turned out really well.
All right. Any questions? Nutrition.
Nutrition, they finish up their summer feeding this week. This is the last week of it. We went ahead and went a couple more weeks. With our turnout, been huge. 93 has been
Wow.
about the average. We fed the summer programs, like for example, the girls that came for cheer yesterday and today, the cooks did make food for them and get that to them as well. So been good. Menus are ready to roll. We just placed order for new food. Kids kind of told us some of the things that they really enjoyed. Our goal is to continue adding things to the menu and seeing what their like is, their dislike is, and just start ordering some new stuff. Cooks to get to try out some different foods during the summer. That was our goal, was being that we were feeding. I thought we weren't going to feed as many, but we fed quite a few. We did order some new items that they liked, and they would ask the kids when they come the next day, "What'd you think of that?" And so we started adding those to the list as well. So ready to roll once we're going. Only issue we have in there is our dishwasher, which we were told to reach out to because it's still under warranty. Reach out to them to come out for a check. It's not throwing detergent out; it's just the water. And so these guys tried to fix it, but since it's under warranty, we'll just do that. Everything else, we'll have a Northern New Mexico Gas will come and do a pressure test on one because what they're saying is one of our lines may not be pushing out enough gas for the top stove at the elementary. But besides that, we have everything. You have to light that one first, and then you can light the second one, and it's weird the way they work. But everything else is up and rolling. Everything at the high school is good. They did what they needed to do up there. So cafeteria is ready to go.
They have all the items they need, like
Right.
warming ovens or
Yes,
all that.
everything that they need. They
Both
have
sites.
both sites are fully stocked with equipment and ready to go.
Just kind of with the stuff going on the federal level, do we anticipate any issues with our nutrition program?
There won't be any issues with our nutrition program. The only piece that federally it's going to affect is going to be our Title II, and it's going to affect our Title I Part D, but we don't get Title I Part D, so it's not going to affect us in that sense. With Title II, it is. The nice thing is that we were still sitting on $53,000 from Title II money, which will still continue to carry over. It's the new funding that's going to be affected. We've been assured by PED that the money's there and we'll get the money, but as of right now, that's kind of where we sit. So it won't affect nutrition. Nothing has been touched on the nutrition. The guidelines, they get a little stricter on nutrition, but we've kind of already been following those guidelines as is, so it's not really affecting us to that extent. And that comes because we follow the stricter one because we are a free lunch to all students,
So
free lunch and breakfast.
is that survey, are they gonna crack down more on getting that survey out to the
Yes.
community? That's gonna be the biggest part, I think.
Yeah, and that's a big thing is survey, getting that survey out, making sure that parents do get that filled out and sent back because that affected us even like this summer. There was what they call sunbucks. We didn't get the sunbucks for some of our kids because if the parent didn't fill out that survey, then there's a box that we have to personally go in and Power School and click and put. We did tell parents that if they didn't receive, they still could apply up until August 15th. They still could apply for it. And it's not a lot, it's like $120 a kid, but if you have 2 or 3 kids, that's, could be $400 a month, and you would have got it for the month of June, July, and I think part of it for August before they come back to school.
Wow. Sunbucks.
$7.
Any other questions for nutrition? Move on to technology.
Technology, Mr. Monday did text me and say that he was stuck in traffic in Eagle Nest. I didn't know there was traffic in Eagle Nest, but he's stuck in construction in Eagle Nest. So let me see if he has his.
Is he trying to come through Angel Fire, Taos Canyon the other way, or what is he?
I don't know.
He's going the wrong way?
So he did tell me that he was stuck. I think
marshal has a
I think he was in that. So I don't see his report, but I'll kind of touch on what he's doing because I did sit down with him yesterday and the day before. He's had his whole crew out here. What they've been doing is they got everything up on all the server stuff is up, everything server-wise is up and ready to roll. They did put the new domain into all laptops, all student laptops, all that good stuff. What they're working on now is the gate access. We do have the equipment here. What he's got to do is run a bridge from here to there, from this pole out here to this gate. And then we have a bridge running on that other side, fully accessible. The second thing that we just gotta check, and this might hold up the project just a little bit if we do have to, is if we do have to drop an electrical line, then we'll have to wait on them. He's trying to see if he can do it minus the electrical line with the power that's running out of those boxes, the LiftMaster boxes that are already out there. And if they don't, then we'll have to drop a line. And so that's kind of where we're at with that. But he's ready to roll. He did come. They took a look at the gym. I know that was a conversation we had with looking at, and so they want to add some additional speakers into the gym. And that will kind of give us the sound that pushes back this way. And so once we get that, kind of get a quote on what that will look like, and hopefully not hefty, but it will be something.
Reinforce the roof to hold all these speakers.
Hey, man of the hour.
Eagle Nest.
Right. Yeah.
The 2 cars in Eagle Nest, huh?
Traffic in Eagle Nest. I said, I didn't even know there was traffic in Eagle Nest.
I know, they cut it down to one lane there. You know, they're one of those things where they take
One lane
those
for 3 cars?
burning things and they burn the road and they resurface it right there. That's
Yeah.
no excuse.
Well, you're up for it.
You're up. I kind of gave him a
Yeah.
brief breakdown of what you guys are doing.
Oh.
We're at the gate access and all that. so-
Okay, good. We're gonna start the project, I'm gonna say Monday or Tuesday, I'll get my guys. With 6 or 7 of us, we should get it done in like a day. So if not 2 or 3, we'll have it done by the end of the week for sure. But we have all the equipment. I've been out here doing some preliminary testing where we can put the bridges because we can't run cable that far. Yeah, it should be going good. If you want to know some specs or some things, it's going to be Bluetooth. They'll be working off your phones, cards. The 2 main gates are all of them. You can have anybody answer a phone or put it on your computer. So there can be multiple different people that could answer multiple different doors. It'll have time profiles. You can have certain gates open for a certain amount of time. You can change them. Sometimes like football season starts and we'll open a gate for extra hour or 2 during the season and stuff like that. So.
Cool. Part of your deal, did we do the dual authentication stuff for the laptops and all that stuff?
Like the Active Directory, getting them set up for the.
No, like.
2-factor.
2-factor.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's a
I'll
big
check. We've
project.
been doing that with Google across the
Good.
schools. I'm sure we did. I'll double check on that with Andrew, but. Yeah,
The employees don't like it, but
It has to
it
be.
don't matter.
Yeah.
And there's always one person we have to kind of get them.
No, it's okay.
It's,
Yeah, you talking about me.
it's a must, man. It just,
Yeah,
there's just too much things going on nowadays. It's scary.
I think I quoted you for the new season, $200 more a month. That'll improve.
What?
That's for we call it data backup. It'll back up all your online servers.
Good.
You know what happened to Aztec? Had they had that, they wouldn't have had gone through all the problems they had. You know, backup is insurance.
Oh, it's huge.
Somebody gets in ransomwares, you just say, nope, wipe it, and we just, it might put you down for an hour or 2, depending on the time frame. But yeah, versus.
The county's not here, right?
Yeah.
Way better than months.
Yeah.
What do you, what is is it a daily, nightly backup, weekly backup? What is
We
it
can
cover?
set that up. The best idea to do it is like after 5 o'clock or something
Yeah.
like that. Some people do it every hour, but it does take memory and stuff like that to do. I recommend doing it every night. It's the same. We get charged by the terabyte. We did an assessment, you guys, and that's where we came up with that number. Shouldn't increase or shouldn't do anything.
It's not a lot of data.
So, and it's the servers. We're not getting into individual
No.
computers and stuff like that. So.
Cool.
But most employees all save to a domain, right?
Or Google Drive.
Are you pushing them to that? Because if they do that, then it's all saved in the
So-
cloud.
Yeah.
If you're not, then
No, it's all saved to the cloud.
Kinda
They're all
hosed.
running, they should all be backing up to
Mhm.
Office 365 OneDrive, which
Yep.
then will be backed up to their system. So we're able to pull that back off if we lose, because like we lost a couple and we were able to go back in and pull based off of their 365 thing, because that would back up there, and so we're fine on the backup
So
end.
do you have 365 or do you have Google?
We have both.
Okay.
So we have both.
Yeah, in my own personal experience, I had a computer crash. I don't save anything on my desktop or anything like that. Yeah, you can just go get another computer and you're.
Yeah, we run both, so we do have, because even so students run everything off of Google. Employees still have 365, but they also have the Google account as well, and so they're running off of both ends. And so it backs up to both ends, and we've had that where we've had a teacher come and say, I lost everything because this crashed. All we did was log them back in. We were able to pull it back over because everything was backed up to the cloud, and it was a quick, easy.
Well, I know people have a habit of
Saving
saving
to
to the
desktop.
desktop
Yeah.
or,
Yeah,
and that's where you
Yeah.
lose things.
Yeah.
And you lose a lot of memory on your computer. You just slow it down.
Yeah.
That's bad.
There's I need to check, I have not done this year, but some people, they have what's called, it's Google Drive, and I think OneDrive does it too. Where it actually, like, when you put in Explorer, you see C Drive and all your document drive, and you can have Google Drive right there too.
Yep.
Because Google Drive is really good for Google Docs and things like that, but if you do like Adobe or something, it's kind of clunky to move it in there. This makes it pretty simple and easy.
Yeah.
I'll get with,
Yeah. And all
once the
ties with
teachers get
Adobe.
back
Yeah.
and see if we're at that setup.
Cool. Any more questions for Tech? We move on to Alta Vista Principal.
we sorry for that since daily active.
Goodbye. We also, I'm sorry to interrupt, but the other project we worked on is the E-rate, and the funding was for Alta Vista. So we've got the servers up, the switches, and we did one preliminary access point. It's gonna make our job a lot easier, thank you.
Yep.
So much easier to work with, but, yeah. Okay, well, we'll see you guys next week, or. I gotta go back to what I told us.
Back to the
Back to the.
construction, huh?
Yes, hopefully, yeah, it's going both ways.
You could have called in.
Thanks.
You have my report in front of
He's
you.
the only vendor that shows up. I like him.
Dedicated.
Are you ready? T minus 11 days or 10. What is it? 10 or 11? I'm excited. Kids out of the house. Oh,
We are.
no, you guys ain't.
No, we're ready. I will.
Feel the
I will tell you-
enthusiasm.
No, I was waiting.
Bacon, eh?
I was waiting for her to. But I'll tell
You
you.
didn't
what,
look up till now.
I
I am.
I,
I am.
I,
so I'm still doing work over here.
I will tell you what, like, this is, I think, one of the first years that I feel like even coming into this, that we're ready to roll with both elementary, high school. You know, we might still have some things to work out, but I think that, like, looking at scheduling, looking at that type of stuff, like, it's the first time that we're walking in and feel like, okay, like this next week, we just kind of put the finishing touches on where we need to be, but it's been a lot of work, and I'll tell you, you know, both of these ones have done, you know, a lot of work, and it's been a lot of back and forth, the collaboration between the two of, like, if we're sharing an employee, this schedule's gotta look like this person will be here from this time to this time, and so having that dedicated time and that collaboration time with them has been big, and so, you know, hopefully they're not overworked before they start work, but, you know, I give them a lot of credit. Like I said, some of the things, and I don't want to take all of both of their thunder there, but, you know, the dual credit night that we ran last night, we had about 20 some kids that showed up to that, and it was nice to see that. It was nice to see. We had 2 universities that came.
You're taking everybody's thunder, ain't you?
Yeah.
You're taking everybody's thunder.
So it was nice to see all that, and that's, I think, the big part, and I'm happy to I'm ready to start. Like I think we're ready to go, and I don't feel like I'm as overwhelmed and, oh my gosh, the first day is almost here, and what are we gonna do? So sorry, Bailey, back to you.
Miss Daly, how was your trip to Nashville?
It was good. I had 2 staff members that went, and it was good.
What kind of,
Different stuff that we learned.
yeah,
A lot more about staff morale and climate, and, you know, what can we bring back for our staff, you know, I know we have a good morale at the elementary, and how can we get more Alta Vista and high school and middle school? Let's all work collaboratively, especially like you said, start sharing staff. So a lot more of
Yeah,
that.
because I know sixth grade's coming. So maybe it'll look a little different.
And I think that's gonna be a good thing.
I think communication was one of the biggest pieces missing too. Is that there was never,
The continuity.
there was always us versus them, which I made no sense when you're prepping these kids to go to that school. Sweet.
What's the grant, the PK grant?
That's.
For
to
preschool.
Yeah, sorry, pre-K here.
Yeah.
So we get a grant, and that's mainly for like teacher Lisa's salary and EA. So our grant it's a 3-year grant. So I had to fill out the application last year, and we got the grant. We tried for 19 students, but we got approved for 14 again for the next 3 years. So anything above that, the district covers the cost, which there's not really a cost to it. We feed them lunch maybe, but that's about it. We can have up to 19 without having another teacher.
Okay.
Are we usually right around 19?
No, last year we had 16, and so we did, like, our grant was only till 14, but we did allow those extra.
Yeah, of course.
Because
We're not gonna.
tell a kid no. Now, sometimes if they do qualify for Head Start, they'll make that decision to do the Head Start instead of, but Head Start's difficult to qualify for sometimes. Some of our kids will qualify and some definitely will not qualify. And so those kids that don't, like, we did have a couple, and I finally just told Miss Stiley, just let them in. They said, I'm not worried about the grant. They said they can eat 2 extra lunches and 2 extra breakfasts, and that's about the extent of what we're gonna get them. And I said, and which is nice, it keeps them in the district, it keeps them, like, okay, so no. So about 16 has been, and that's what they run off of, is they run off of an average of even, because there's a wait list. And so when we reapplied for the grant, we applied for 19, but our wait list was at the top was only 16, and so they kind of took the average. We've been as low as 13, and we've been as high as 16, and so they take kind of that average, and that's why they only gave us the up to 14.
Cool. Any more questions? Go to the high school principal.
We threw out to Mr. Ronnie Miller.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That is a good warm-up act. It's hard to follow, yeah. There's not much in the report. We really are in a good spot right now. It's been an incredibly short summer. I don't know where it went, but I think we're ready. We've got a little bit of fine tuning to do over the next few days. Kids are finishing their schedule selections and we'll get those schedules out. But I'm pretty happy with where we are right now.
Sweet. Did you just attend some of the same classes as Miss Diley for the?
We went to most of the main sessions. That seemed to be where we felt would be the most impactful for the district. It was a lot of climate, culture, strategic staffing, just different things like that. It was a really good. It was good to hear that we're not the only ones that are struggling in education. It was good to kind of be with educators and you see and hear the things that they're doing, the things that you can bring back that you think that might work, and things that won't work. But it's good to have that time away to kind of think through those things. So I think it was very beneficial.
Good.
Incredibly hot and humid. Don't want to live there, but it was a good trip.
Well, that's good. We got to send you guys to those places so you remember why you come back here.
Right. Right.
Any questions for Mr. Miller?
No, but just a general thank you to all you guys who worked throughout the summer, got stuff situated, all staff, facilities, whatever it was. Thank you guys, and hopefully we have a good year this year.
So yeah.
Okay. I'll send
Next up, the Thunder.
The Thunder. So I'll kind of keep touching on the piece of it. Miss Connie did go out there with us as well, and you know, just to get to hear a lot of these pieces and the big thing, you know.
Did you go too?
I did. And the big piece is coming back is
Adam's gone.
talking, it was hot, but it was
Adam's gone
nice.
wild over there.
And
It's
so,
it's a night place.
huh?
It's made to be out at night, not during the day.
Even at night it was hot. It was still 90 some degrees with 80% humidity at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night.
We were 90 here, so.
So you know, the big thing is like he was talking about is, you know, coming back to it is branding is huge. You know, one of the presenters it was a simple shirt. All it said was #crickets and it had their little logo on it. And he says, you know, I go to a football game and I'll take 10 shirts with me and I'll tell, you know, I'll put it out on Facebook or throw it out there and say something like, whoever can come up to me and tell me or recite the vision statement to me, I'll give them a free shirt. And he says, you know, it started with little kids and then I started having, you know, 80-year-old men that were, you know, telling me. And he says, and what it did is it helped the district grow. And the district was about the size of ours. You know, it was a small district in Wisconsin. And he says, and it's the same size. And he says, in the branding, he says, you know, like even the news people would come out and he says, and we give them stickers that had our logo on it or whatever. And he says, and all of a sudden I start seeing them on their cameras or I start seeing them. And so it's a way to sell the district and kind of get that piece of where the district wants to go. He says, you know, went from one of the worst districts in Wisconsin to one of the best districts in Wisconsin just by that marketing part is getting people excited. You know, the celebrations of the small things, you know, his big touch was, you know, everybody is somebody's kid. And it doesn't matter if they're 70 or 80, if they're 10, 5, 6, a parent, whatever, you have to look at them as they're somebody's kid. And so treat them the way you want your kid to be treated or you would treat your kid. And so it really brought back, you know, like, you know, sometimes we have to remember why we're back in here and why we're doing what we do. And that kind of takes me into like some of the stuff with my report is, you know, one of the big things when I met with Miss Mead on, you know, how do we sell our Go Credit program? How do we get our kids excited about getting into these programs, getting into some of the, you know, we talked even bringing, you know, the CDL program, that's a short program. We could get kids graduated by the time they're 18, they can walk out of here with the CDL.
8 weeks.
And yeah, and you know, and so we started talking about that, and it's that branding part. It's that getting them excited, you know. So one of the things we came up with was a Go Credit night, and I told Michelle, I said, oh, the one night that we do something that pours on us, but you know what? To see 20-some kids show up to that and be able to see them, you know, asking questions, asking, you know, what is this? What does this mean? A lot of our kids don't quite understand the exact meaning of what Go Credit means. You know, what we've been working with, like Miss Mead, is even to get like what pathways and walkways we have. You know, we have pathways, we have classes that instead of taking New Mexico history, you can take Southwest history, which is equivalent to it, and you know, it helps free up some of our staff so that they can teach other courses and other things. And so, you know, we want to continue that partnership. Definitely. We also had New Mexico Highlands that showed up to that as well. And so we had some kids get some answers to, you know, what it looks like. What's the difference between going to UNM Taos and going to Highlands? Do my credits transfer if I do decide to take a class here? And so it was good to get those answers for them. You also later on have an MOU with Bridges, and Bridges we've been working with a little bit since last year. And what the point of them is to help these kids with filling out FAFSA, applying for scholarships, coming out, meeting one-on-one with the kids. And so they were there last night as well. And so those are
from Bridges?
Yes. Yeah. I invited our 3 partners as well as Bridges, and 2 of our partnerships.
Are there next show?
And so, you know, I invited them, and it was kind of, we fed them hot dogs and cookies and all that good stuff, and kind of put it out there, you know, this is what we're doing. And so that's kind of the thing is, you know, continuing with that kind of stuff. And I think it was nice to be able to see that. When I got back from Nashville, I went straight to the coaches clinic. That was another piece that, you know, we did have pretty much all of our coaches, head coaches that did show up to that. It was good to see some of that conflict resolution. You know, how do you deal with parents? How do you deal with other coaches? How do you deal with other staff members? And
Was Questa like the focus there?
yeah, you know what? Actually, we're not as bad as some of those schools. We came up with
I'm
case
sure there were a
studies
few
and
case
some
studies.
stuff, but You
There
know,
wasn't nothing about the board.
no.
the board's
You guys are
good.
doing an awesome job, man.
It's the fans.
It's our fans. So, you know, so that's that. I did attend the New Mexico Finance Authority meeting, and that was to get the Taos County facility in Costilla approved. It did get approved.
Did it?
Yes, it did.
PSFA
All
went
we-
through it.
Yes, so all we have to do is make sure that we send them the lease agreement and what it looks like, and then everything is fully approved. So they can continue moving forward with that. Another piece that I'm really excited about is yesterday I got a phone call from her name's Elizabeth Peterson. She works out of PUD and she's part of their department of like student success and something else. And she, because of our improved academic performance and our leadership that has been pushing through some of these little things that they've kind of thrown at us, we got invited, there are 7 districts that were invited to participate in what they call the SOAR program. And so it's a SOAR initiative. So we will take part of that this year. It's a year-long thing. I will put together a team. They will go. I will have to go to 2 meetings on the Thursday, Friday, and then my team will join me on Saturday. And we'll do this 3 times, but then they'll come out. We now become like one of those leaders in how do we present to other districts? What are we doing that's working? How do we continue that drive? What do we continue? And they'll support us with some of that stuff. And so also comes with some of that is a little bit of funding later on when that's all completed and said and done. Besides that, you know, worked a little bit on the handbook. I do have a copy of it. I did separate it. I'll give it to you guys, kind of take a look at. Anything highlighted or additional add-ins, I separated it for both athletes and for coaches. Before it was kind of just one big handbook and had everything you kind of jump from athlete to coach to parent to athlete to, and so now it's kind of just broken into 2 different ones. I did get also awarded an MLSS grant, which will pay for some software to be able to track our data for our students that end up on MLSS. And the purpose of that is to stop preventing over testing. Last year, I think we tested 14 kids, 15 kids? More.
It's 17.
And out of that 17, we only had 3 qualify, which means that we didn't take our first initial steps of setting up MLSSs. We didn't follow, and it wasn't that we didn't follow, but it doesn't mean that that's what the testing, it just says the kid didn't qualify because of X, Y, and Z. And it says refer back to MLSS. And so if we can't track what we're doing MLSS wise, then what's going to happen is they're just going to continue testing and we're not going to make that progress that we need to make with some of those kids that have fallen behind. That's really it. Like I said, Darren and the guys, they get the batting cage up. Looks good. I know that's been a long awaited thing, but finally had nice weather and good time. And so we got that installed and up. And so that's about what I got. Any questions for me?
Anything?
Greenhouse, you get the greenhouse up?
Greenhouse, I had a contractor, Mr. Robert Duran, that I had reached out to. He's supposed to come on site to take a look, but he can't get out here until September. He's about the only contractor that I've been able to get to even respond. I've sent it to 6 other contractors just in this general area. And he's the only contractor that I was able to get to respond to the project. With what I have to kind of bribe him is that we may have more projects coming up sooner than later. And so he started sending me his breakdown of everything that he's done, and he's built buildings and built schools and built firehouses and built all that stuff. So I'm confident that we can get something with him and get it and go from there. Last thing is I did get a quote today. Waiting on one more just because of the cost of it. Both of them are government contracts, so we should be able to for the skidster. They're running about 120,000 with all attachments is about where we're at. So
Did you already get permitted for the greenhouse or we haven't?
Permitting, he'll take care of, is what he said when I talked to him. He says that if he agrees and we can get him on, he would take care of all the permitting process. He says with school districts, the only thing that would have to be with the board would have to approve the actual construction of it. And then once he gets that approved, then he takes that to the Public Finance Authority and they will then establish the permit process and he'll be able, but he said, I take care of all that stuff. You don't have to go and get, he says, I take care of that. That's part of my fee.
He's a turnkey operation and it's all state licensure. He
Yeah.
goes through the county.
Perfect. That's nice.
So
Yeah.
That's better.
makes it.
Yeah.
What about the doors in the ag building?
The doors still need replacement. Did we get a quote on
I've been checking it out. I got one guy, he's gonna send me a quote. But it's, so pretty much, you're still ready to use that facility? Yeah.
Yeah, facility. We moved a lot of the stuff out that we could move out into that other additional room that sits on the side of the shop. So we moved a lot of that out of there and moved the pieces that we could. But we do need to get that big door open to get the bigger pieces out of there, but the shop's ready to use.
Get it ordered. Yeah, once that quote comes in, let's,
Move on it.
yeah, we stop talking about it.
You still have the original quote, too, right?
Move on to new business, item B, review, discuss, and approve. Disapprove, school board to adopt resolution proposing mill levy or bond question for the regular election ballot.
So I did invite Mr. Valenzuela to come out. He did draft you a resolution, which we do have to submit. August 26th, so we would have another meeting prior to, if need be, but it's pretty cut and dry, his resolution.
Is that the first one on new business attachment?
Yeah, it's that resolution and affirmation.
Mr. President, I'm happy to take you through if you'd like.
Sure.
So the draft that's in front of you has two questions, like the superintendent mentioned. Your SB 9, which is a 2 mil levy, will expire in 2026. And so to keep it going without having a special election in 26, which the district has to pay for, you can take the action now. That does not increase taxes. And so what it does, it will extend the 2 mil levy and keep it in place all the way through 2031. We work with a law firm named Melendres and Melendres, and this is the first time they've looked at Questa. So that question's pretty long. They basically took the information that is in the statute and put it in there just to make sure everything's covered for what SB 9 allows for. We can shorten it. So like the superintendent said, you don't have to have this to the Secretary of State until August 26th. So we can come back in August and have a shorter version of that if you like. I will say there's one other thing that we need to correct in here, or not correct, but add. You have a charter school within your district and they get access to SB 9. And so we just want to name them in this question so that there's no sense that they feel like they're not included in it and they're not supported. The second item is the general obligation bond. And as you know, as I presented to you in the past, your district is ranked 12th and 13th with the Public School Facilities Authority for getting a new facility. But two things would have to happen on this side, on your side, which is you'd have to raise your tax rate by at least 2 mils because they will lower the local match that the district has to put up. So if the project costs $50 million right now, you would have to come up with something like 25 million, which the district doesn't have in terms of capacity, even if the voters gave it to you. So the idea is if you go up to 7 mil levy, you're currently at 5. The state will increase their share to a higher level so that you don't have to come up with 25. You can come up with whatever capacity you have. So the question asks for $13 million of general obligation bonds. And that would be an increase of at least 2 mils if the district wanted to move forward. That does again open you up to the possibility to get a higher level of support for the construction of those two campuses.
I know Taos is going after a bond right now on this next election as well. I think they're chasing 50 million, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just worried it's gonna be a tough vote, man. It's gonna be a tough sell because now you have the two bigger districts in the county chasing it. Penasco, man, they skated through them barely on that one. But I don't think we have a choice.
I think honestly, if we advertise it and represent what the needs are of the district and why, to get it out to
That's the
voters,
key.
you know,
That's the key.
That's the only way to get it done.
That's the key right there. If you don't advertise it and go basically door to door, you're not going to get it. Hashtag cricket or what?
Hashtag cricket.
We got to do some shirts. Hashtag taxes go up. Yeah. Ask me why. I bet you that shirt would go crazy.
So if we tabled this to make those improvements, we'll get it on the next.
Yes, sir.
We had quorum. We would have to get. We just approved the thing and you guys changed the date. Right to approve it. What? The last meeting? The date? Yeah. We approved the thing and you guys moved it next one. You had to schedule there and you guys canceled it. Well, because we didn't have.
What do you want changed on this?
It was just to reflect the two
It's
charter
just-
schools, right?
This is to reflect the charter school, right?
But you could just make that recommendation.
Yeah, you
Yeah, we can
make
approve
that
it with those recommendations and then when it, yeah.
Yep.
I'm good with that. I'll entertain a motion to approve this.
The additions then? Was it in the
Was that?
two additions?
Yes.
You have to reflect the Red River and Roots and Wings.
Yes.
Can you make a motion?
Yes.
Second.
This is an individual vote.
Yeah. The first and the second, Mr. Secretary for roll call.
Member Snedos,
No,
Member Cordova,
Yes.
Member Real,
Yes.
President, sorry.
Number.
Sorry.
I didn't get it. No.
Secretary Romero. No, and VP Lovato.
My the tiebreaker.
tiebreaker was always gonna come down to this.
I knew it. You went the wrong way.
Went the wrong
Years
way.
we've been waiting for this.
Man, this school needs it. There's no way I can get around it.
You can't get a greenhouse up.
I'm careless about a greenhouse. I'm talking about funding.
Yeah, but it's in the box. You know, if you get the money, but then it takes us 20 years to find somebody to build the school. Price is gonna go up by the time you even get started. And that's not gonna go well with the taxpayers.
It's hard. I just don't know where I honestly, I don't know what the direction is to prove it. Which way are we going? We haven't decided. Is it a building? Is it a school? Is it a nothing? There's no clear vision right now. That's the hard part where I'm at. I have to go no just because I have no clear vision. There's no, I don't know. Are we going to do a building? No, a school, gym? No, we have not decided. We have not had a single meeting on what we want to do with this bond. 0 meetings on it.
So is that the whole issue or the whole thing?
That's my issue.
We also need.
I mean, we could bring it back for the next meeting. I'm voting no today
we
just
also need the
because.
SB9 portion, like if you don't want to go for the go bond, that's fine, but SB9 portion is, that's all your.
No, the SB9, yeah, we have
Yeah,
to.
we need that. That's why I voted yes.
Did you vote yes for the whole thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've already been presented 3 times with, or at least twice.
SB9, I'm go for a yes on an SB9. The other go bond, I can't do yes on that.
Yeah, I would have to.
Yep, you'd have to separate it.
Mhm.
I'll go no vote, let it die. Let you recall your motion.
Yeah, resend it first.
I'll just no
That way
vote.
we can make a motion on individual. Because if it's 7 votes no now, then it's done.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll rescind my motion.
We can open it for-
Yeah, and entertain a motion for separating for SB9 and separate the vote one on that.
I'll make a motion to approve SB9 and table the gold bond for next meeting.
Second. No call vote, sir.
Or Snuff,
Yes.
VP Lovato,
Yes.
Cordova,
Yeah. Strategic.
Secretary Mayor, yes, and President, yeah.
Yes.
Can I just real quick, can I add to that? Just
Yeah.
what I want to, like this next meeting, we need to have discussion on a clear path of what, if we move forward, what are we going to go after?
No, absolutely.
Because if we're going to go sell it to the members or the community, we got to have a path.
Yeah.
Co-op members.
The member, yeah.
We also need to have.
Sorry, it's in my blood, man.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks. I just think we need to have a solid discussion because I think half of us are on a new building, half of us are not on a new building, just growing from the existing high school. I think we could all get on the same page.
That's fine. I was just.
No, yeah.
No, I know, yeah.
Sure. But I do think though, with the next meeting, we should probably have at least.
Do you want me to try to get PSFA in on that meeting? Because they said they would be willing to present to you guys.
Sure, but
You
we'd like
want
to
to-
see.
I'd like
at
to
least
see
what-
public.
Like what the. Okay, so
I have the
if we
survey
have,
from the public.
if we have new building here, new building there, kind of, like what are we gonna look at? You know what I mean? Just,
Like I said, I have surveys from the public that we have done, so I can bring those. I can wait on PSFA if that's fine, because I think as long as we know what kind of direction we're
yeah,
going, remodel, rebuild, just fix the things that need to be fixed, and yeah.
That's where I was at. Just
Stated, erect, remodel.
yeah, so
Okay.
we'll have to have its own separate line item for that for sure, just to get on a path.
yeah.
Okay.
So you put the experience last.
Yeah.
So I do it, right?
Yeah, it was 15 years of experience. I'm glad it wasn't on me. Next item, review, discuss, approve, disapprove MOU with UNM Towns. Thank you for coming to.
Careful with Eagle Nest.
Yeah, let's do that.
There's traffic there.
So you do have in front of you the MOU with Taos. I don't believe anything major changed in it, right?
No, so this MOU is renewed at once every 3 years unless there is a change in official signatories. As far as any changes that have been made, very small tweaks for typos, like human errors, as well as just some clarification of certain points. So for example, 3 college credits, which constitutes as a usual college class, is equated to 1 high school credit. So that was one thing specifically that was made clearer. Otherwise, it just goes over the definition of the dual credit program, as well as the expectations and responsibilities of the post-secondary institutions, the Union House, the LEA, Questa ISD, as well as students.
Are most of the classes with UNM, are they most of them online? Is that the platform we're still chasing? My first kid drove there. My second kid
Yeah.
has never even been to the campus.
Yeah, that's a great question. So as far as UNM's house, we are looking for, we're looking to increase our in-person classes. However, we recognize that our footprint as far as who we work with for LEAs across the region is quite large. You know, we work with you all, the farthest school that we work with is Dulce. And so, so as far as, you know, the expectation of students traveling when, you know, a lot of students don't even have their driver's license, is unrealistic. So we offer online classes. We do have our Friday Early College program, which is a myriad of in-person classes on campus that students can go to so they can
We used to-
experience that.
We used to actually send a bus with kids every Friday.
Mhm.
That went away, COVID,
Yeah.
but we used to send them on.
We also do have dual credit classes at the high school. So Miss Diane Leone teaches three dual credit classes during the school year. In the past, we've had more. So we used to have a multi-craft core curriculum class that was offered as dual credit at the high school. And then I think we're still in talks of that and trying to get that back up because that was an incredibly popular class.
What about, how do we get a math program, dual credit type of system? That's the one thing I see here is
Yes.
the math and the English here is
We had that.
struggling.
We had, when we went and met with Miss Mead, we had that conversation. And, you know, she kind of brought up too, like, you know, I don't see a lot of your kids take like the freshman comps and the math, the college algebra.
Yep.
The reason that they're not taking those courses is because there's requirements in order for them to get into those courses. And one requirement is they have to score above, I believe, 600 on their SAT. And then the second, or they have to score on the AccuPlacer, is that what you guys use?
We use multi-measures.
Multi-measures,
So,
yep.
yeah.
So they have to score a certain score on the, and so what we're running into is that issue is that our kids aren't scoring those. And so what has to happen is they have to take that remedial math class prior to being able to get into that, which is not covered under dual credit. So if they want to take that math class, they have to go take it off on their own. And so
On their own dime.
on their own
Right.
dime.
So how do we remedy that? Like that alone is already scaring a kid away.
Right.
We should be getting them in that remedial class to get them prepped for,
Or what? So
because
that
I'd
was-
rather see them graduate with the remedial done and that way
Yeah.
first year of college, they're ready versus now they're going to go take remedial anyway now at 19 and do like, yeah, we
And
got to
so
kind of
that's-
figure out how to.
that's the
They're more
conversation
than
that
Yeah.
we had. And actually, as we were doing the walkthrough of the campus, we ran into like one of your math chair, right? Your math. And she says, I'm willing to come and work with you guys and try to figure out some solutions of how we can do this. Because it's been a long while since we've had a kid take one of those classes. And we kind of see the same thing with the English department too, is we don't have a lot of those English freshman comp ones. So freshman comp 1 can of course take place of like your English 11, freshman comp 2 can take place of your English 12. But we're not seeing those because again, we're not scoring and I shared this with her, our average score on this SATs have been in the 830s, which 900 is usually about your average range. And so we're below average of where we need to be on these SATs. And so we talked a little on some solutions and we're still working on that because I don't have the magic answer for that either.
Well, I think that's kind of what we're trying to figure out is it worth it to figure out how to get them on this remedial, even if it is covered by the district type of thing? Because I think that's helping the student more than putting them in photography 101 again because they couldn't do the remedial.
So that was my question. What courses are going to be offered to this? Is it just everything?
No,
No.
No, there's a limit, yeah.
There is a limit. Most of our catalog though is eligible for dual credit. There are specific classes or programs that aren't just simply because of their cost. And so as far as, the cost that we recoup as the post-secondary institution is very little because we don't collect tuition fees for those students, and a very small percentage of dual credit really fits into the HEI funding formula. And so, but as far as what is offered, almost all of our general education core requirement classes are offered. So those are the classes that you have to take no matter what degree program you're going into. And then the great thing about that is because New Mexico is a common course numbering state, those credits go from UNM Taos to Highlands to NMSU to UNM Albuquerque without any question. Mhm.
So is that what our unit's going to be this year, or are we still going to have photography and
No,
Blue
so
World and
we've
all that stuff?
we've moved away from a lot of those courses, unless that's a course that's required for the student's actual degree. Again, like I said, our juniors and our seniors, I apologize, they've kind of fallen into the place of where they're at, and there's not a lot that we can do. Our juniors, some of them we could pull back and kind of say. But like I know we had talked and like what we had found is, like, I know the one that I always threw at you guys was the Blue Planet. Well, what we found is the Blue Planet actually takes place of our physical science. And so which actually is beneficial to us, because if we can use that Blue Planet as our physical science, now I can pull that science teacher away to teach something different. He's not having to teach physical science anymore. We can move. And so we've been working.
That's online?
It depends. It could be online or it could be one of your Friday schools, because I believe that's one of the ones that falls into that Friday, which I think we need to start exploring a little bit more on how to get these kids into those classes and getting them over there instead of everything just being done online. We have dedicated a full, what we call a dual credit lab. We did away with credit recovery stuff. If they need credit recovery, they need to come after school, they need to come on Fridays, or they need to come during the summer. We're not going to mix and mingle those two anymore. So our dual credit lab is going to be strictly for dual credit classes that these kids are taking either through UNM Taos, Highlands, or Northern. And so we tried to move away from those. Like Psych 101 is one of the big classes that we do, because Psych is used throughout. It doesn't matter if you go into education, if you go into business, if you go into media arts, it's one of those required core classes.
Engineering.
So we kind of pulled those gen ed classes of what they need. And then, we've been working with Miss Mead on what do these walkways look like? If we're short a teacher, is there a university class that we can substitute that with, that they're going to get the university credit on top of they're going to get the credit through us? So we have found a lot of classes that do. And like Mr. Lovato said, there are a lot of them, like the math and those. But if our kids aren't qualifying for it, that's why they just are getting put in photography and getting into those.
So is there a high percentage that is not qualified, or almost everybody?
About 90.
So
So do you think maybe we should focus on getting that up before we?
Well, we
worry
do
about
have to,
dual credit?
since we scored where we scored, one of our required classes that we have to give our students this year is an SAT prep class, which covers both your English and your math.
And I think it has to be done more than once.
Yeah. And so that is one of our classes that we do have to offer this year. And we moved, a lot of our kids I know as our juniors, we're taking probability and statistics. When it comes, and I'm not trying to just throw everything that's towards the SAT, but probability and statistics isn't a tested subject when it comes to SAT. So we moved back to Algebra 2, and Algebra 2 will help lead them into hopefully score to get into these math classes. But yeah, about 90% of our kids are not meeting that required. English isn't as bad. English is about 65% of our kids are not hitting, which is still over the 50%.
What do you think the reason is
For
math?
I'm gonna tell you honestly, and you know, I'm gonna tell you, I don't feel that the SAT was taken seriously this year. Last year our scores weren't as bad. This year it was kind of, we rescheduled it 3 times because of our coordinator was not available, and so we rescheduled it 3 times. And then when it was finally given, we just threw them all in the cafeteria and said, "There's your SAT, take it, and let's get it done as quickly as possible." And so I don't feel that it was taken as serious as it was. We didn't celebrate the way I saw test scores that came from the elementary and even our middle school teachers that we pushed it, and we had growth. We showed almost 20% growth on top of the 30 that we showed. We've shown 50% growth over 2 years just in those subject areas. At the elementary, we showed 10% of growth in math at the middle school level, and 20% growth in math at the English level between our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders that tested at the middle school. The problem is that the high school, we're just kind of, this doesn't matter, and just go do it because we have to do it, and if not, I'm gonna get in trouble for not giving it. And I think that was the issue. We've made corrections with that. We've figured out what we need to do on that to kind of take it. Do I think that our kids can't do it? No, I don't. I definitely think our kids have the ability. We have some smart kids in this district. It's just a matter of taking these things and making it a serious matter, not just taking it and saying, well, it's just one of those tests that you have to do. We got to get away from the have to's too. This is something that, this is, you know, enjoy it, have fun with it. This is a big decision maker. This pushes college. I know, you know, these days they don't really ask you for the SATs and all that, but it does impact when they start taking these classes, and that's where we want to be.
And I want to piggyback on that with one thing. We do have a weakness in middle school math. And so what is happening is, because those kids have not had a highly qualified teacher, our high school math teacher then has to continue to go back and reteach the 7th and 8th grade standards to get them where they need to be. The other thing I will say, I think this is probably across a lot of the high school, is we have this perception that our kids can't do things. And we continue to water down and water down and water down and water down and offer classes that are not going to lead them either on a pathway or to college or career or military readiness. And so at some point in the past, that happened. We decided our kids can't do higher math. Our kids can't do freshman comp. And so we got them on computer programs because they couldn't handle chemistry. So we take 10 kids out of chemistry because they're failing, and we put them on edge where they cheat their way through. And so those students will not be college ready because they don't know how to handle the rigor and the timelines and the workload. And no, not every student is college ready, but they need to be career ready or military ready. It's got to be one of those 3, right? And so it's a big piece. There's a lot of pieces that go into that math weakness. But the biggest part is there hasn't been strong math at the middle school level for a couple of years.
I also want to just provide a bigger picture in that this is not a Questa isolated problem. This is, math proficiency rates are low across Taos County and across northern New Mexico. I think just, you know, from a post-secondary perspective, I think that, you know, there is a lot of room for collaboration in terms of us collaborating with the school district to figure out what are those remedial concepts and topics that lead to then that gateway courses and then STEM math and, you know, beyond. And I think that is where Mr. Maldonado and Mr. Miller and I, when we met last month, that was something that we talked about, is how can we now maybe bridge and form a relationship between UNM Taos's math department and Questa ISD, so that, you know, these students, you know, they're not blindsided when they take a math placement or the SAT and, you know, thinking that they're going to do much better than they have the knowledge. So there is a lot of room for improvement, and I think our math department is fully on board to help and to start fostering these conversations. But it's not a Questa only problem. This is across the region.
What I like too is, and I think this is key, is what Mr. Miller started talking about, was these pathways is humongous. It's humongous. I know a lot of times it's like, oh, we wait for this one kid to have that one associate's. My kid actually had more credits than an associate's, but it wasn't towards what they offered there. So I was like super proud of this because now she's taking even more credits with her to her university than what was even there because she had a different path, and that path got her a whole different type of thing. And that was amazing. So there is kids that are trying, and maybe the path doesn't go towards what is the associates that we usually give, applied science or yeah. And that wasn't her path, so it made no sense. And I fought with the person that was there before you, the lady I forgot, Dr. Bonavita, who's awesome. He's like, no, I don't want her to get that. She needs to go this way. But there is so many good pathways. It's just now creating one here at the school and working with UNM to.
Exactly.
I'm just that parent that is kind of like, a little too involved sometimes. So, but it's great. It's a great group.
I think, and I can honestly say with the kind of restructuring what we're doing now, like Mr. Miller brought to the table, affecting change immediately versus waiting years for this to happen is probably the best foot forward for all our students, because even starting from elementary all the way up, because seeing the improvements that we're making at the elementary level in math and reading, we'll continue to grow.
Exactly.
And I just think that, it's important for us to also, at the high school level, that's why we were the whole board on board with bringing in extra staff and trying to support what we got going on up there, because we do know that those gaps exist. But if you just bury your head in the sand and, well, it happens everywhere else, but why not Questa too? We got the buck has to stop here before we can see the change. So I'm on board with you guys, UNM, and grateful that we're able to build these partnerships with the post-secondary education. And sometimes when you're told, well, like Mr. Miller said, we just watered it down and said our kids can't do it, that's a crock of baloney, because if we push our kids, they're gonna perform, and we've seen that already. And so it's a good time. It's like you say, when was a good time to plant a tree 20 years ago? But the best time is now, because we have the future to look forward to. So thank you and UNM and everybody for putting this together. So with that, I will make a motion to accept this
Second.
MOU. The first and second, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Oh, thank you. Next item is the MOU with White Sands Drug and Alcohol Compliance. I think we asked it too a little bit.
Yeah, their costs didn't increase at all, so it remains the same. They've been doing our drug testing for the past couple of years, so honestly, I appreciate them when they come out, and we've kind of worked on getting it faster and getting the whole thing happen quicker with even testing more students. I'll tell you, it's made a difference with our students. We've seen a decrease and we will add the nicotine portion into there for next year. She was all on board with it, so it's gonna work.
For next year or this year starting?
This year. Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah.
We're here.
So the nicotine will be added into it for this year, and so that's another positive that we'll
It's
kind
gonna
of see
kill
where-
those kids with the vapes.
So there we go. And
Policy and you hope they're doing what's up.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion?
We're still at 50%.
50% or higher. Is what you guys told me that time.
Yep. Just making sure.
Hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, F. Review, discuss, approve, disapprove ancillary services agreements. First up is diagnostic.
So, you
What
want
about
to say?
bridges? What, bridges come up?
No, bridges,
You skipped it.
did I skip one?
Bridges.
Oh, bridges, yes,
Oh,
I'm
bridges.
sorry. Okay, let's go to that one.
I was like, I'm looking at the wrong one then.
Item E. Review, discuss, and approve the Bridges Project for Education for school year 2025-26 proposal.
Ooh, so you do have it in front of you, the proposal, a little different on this one is Bridges does ask for a fee, just to help cover some of those costs.
$5,000.
Yeah, $5,000. So I will tell you, we started working with them last year with at no cost with them, and they did come out, they met individually with students, they did, schedule appointments even at their house office. They came out, we gave them a dedicated space once a week, and they did come out and work with our kids. Like I said, their job is they kind of help the kids with getting financial aid filled out, getting, scholarship, they kind of help support them with getting their applications filled out, for college, and so, they, like I said, they did attend last night, still credit thing, and, you know, I can say they've been pretty helpful for us. If, she did say if we need to look at that dollar amount, they'd be more than happy to look at that dollar amount. It's not a problem. They just helps fund their corporation.
How many students did they have last year?
Last year they met with all seniors, so they met with them and then they started meeting with juniors. So it was about 36 students that they saw in altogether.
Do we know how many, because it says it'll help them 2 years after.
Yeah.
For a
So
loan.
they can continue with that. So like the one that I know of, for example, is going to Trinidad State College in Alamosa, and they have continued with like helping him. They even helped him. This was a student that was on an IEP. They even helped him like getting the 504 paperwork situated with Trinidad State and that type of stuff. So I don't know about the rest. I can definitely ask. I just know that one because we had that conversation about that student.
So they're doing what they.
Yeah,
say
they're
gonna do.
doing what they're saying they're doing.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Any further discussion? First and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll move to item F. Review, discuss, approve ancillary service agreements.
We don't have nothing in our.
Yeah,
contract for that.
yeah, this part's not.
You have them?
I don't know what I have is a diag.
Hmm?
Only one I have is a diag. So
Is this all one company or is this separate?
no, it's separate companies.
So there's,
Sorry, I don't know if you need copies for it, but you just want.
Yes, please.
Where's the diag? Is there other quotes?
Yeah.
That's just one company.
We have the CEF and then a vocal vision.
On table? Or do you need it by?
Yeah, when's the next one?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
But we don't have it on the
That's
agenda.
all.
How many companies bid?
Two other ones. For the other quotes.
yeah, I would probably have to see them.
Yeah.
Unless you can get them now.
You have them?
Here's one.
But CES or?
It's Sierra.
then another local version.
What? Yeah, send you this.
I don't know. Come on.
History.
There you go, Miss Marie.
Who did we go with last year? This
group
This
here?
group here, I thought so. Did it increase?
It probably did, cause all of them, cause even like the diag increased, and the reason hers increased, once I get it to you, is the cost of her testing materials increased, so it wasn't like her travel and all that stuff, it was the cost of her testing materials. It increased by
Tariffs.
$200 is what her increase went.
REC doesn't have none of this on staff? Or no one,
No.
they don't have it like contractor where you get
No,
a larger pool?
they would send us through CES and so we did get a quote from CES too, but CES is a little bit more because you pay a flat fee just to CES and then you pay the cost of the,
You get a 10 to 15% cut out of it.
then you pay that. And we did ask REC if they had anybody or had anything, because they did take our Medicaid billing, which we've seen an increase in that since they've done that, and we don't pay, but we don't pay that percentage anymore because we're going through our REC instead of a different REC.
You think Medicaid's gonna start becoming a huge issue for some of these funding groups?
It is.
I agree. I think so too.
It is, because now a lot of these
That's gonna
people
be-
that qualify for Medicaid are not
Gonna
gonna
qualify anymore. Yeah. It's gonna be a huge hit.
Yeah, I think we could.
Yeah, people are just thinking about the hospital and the clinics. It affects the schools too.
Can we make a motion not to table, but to move on to the next item and then come back to it? Or because we approve the agenda the way it was? Only till we get the,
You can't come back.
get the paperwork.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
You could either put the meeting at recess.
If you skip F, then you can't come back.
Yeah, you could put it at a recess, or you can wait, or you can just keep moving.
Well, we have one for speech therapy. Right? We can vote on that one and not the rest. And then
That's one for speech therapy?
we'll have to come back.
That's the only one we got for speech therapy?
That's the only one that can proceed there.
Sweet.
Is this still a fellow?
Yeah, she changed the name of her
But it's still the same.
company. Just the one.
So we gotta approve just this one.
Could have put the speech.
For speech. I'm going to approve
Second.
Sierra.
For speech.
That's the speech.
For speech.
First and second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We got a +1 there.
Make a motion to table the service agreements for diagnostic services, occupational therapists, and physical therapists.
Hold
Oh,
on,
wait.
Hold on.
Wait, maybe
Maybe in the nick of time here.
want to rescind your motion?
Resend yet.
But that's not her speech, all right?
No, to do the speech and we're, if we find it in-house, we will with the in-house later. But then we would just,
We just approve
Just
speech.
approve speech.
Speeches.
Reading for speech.
Speech is
Yeah,
good to go.
speech was.
Occupational.
That's something.
Yeah, that was approved.
So our diag is our current diag. She's
We
been
need
with
help
us now
speaking
for
in.
2 years, and like I said, it was a $200 increase, and she explained that it was because of the cost of her testing materials.
So we only have one for that.
Yes. we only have one.
No, which one's that one?
Diag,
Diag.
What's the name of it?
Marie Martinez.
Okay, for occupational therapist, so we have for that.
That's the Sierra therapy,
And CES.
or that's another quote for CES. That's the second quote.
oh,
for
yeah,
CES.
okay.
Oh,
Cause there was one for speech and then two for,
occupational
So Sierra does speech and occupational, or about
And
physical?
physical,
She does
yeah.
all.
that whole company.
Okay, so I made a motion to approve them just for speech. I'll make a motion to approve them for physical therapy and occupation.
second. First and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
And for Diag, we just have Martinez. is the only one, right?
Yeah.
Marie.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
First and second discussion, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So the only one we didn't get was physical.
No,
we
yeah, we
did.
did.
We got it. Okay.
Sierra's the three of them, and
No,
Martinez
yeah.
is the one.
I missed. I'll do it. All right. Next item, G, review, discuss, approve, disapprove Lower Foundation grant in the amount of $500 for dual credit community engagement night.
Which
So this was a
happened
donation.
last night.
This was a donation. All it would do would reimburse
So the hot dogs are paid for.
anything that, yeah.
Okay. So it's not, it just,
We did that last night. Lord,
They gave notebooks and stuff out
cool.
for it. They did give the kids notebooks and all that. They weren't able to attend, but they did send in some
Send some goodies.
does it say that you have to put their logo on all the advertising?
It was on the notebook. It said lower, my Questa, so.
Almost.
Second.
You didn't get like hamburgers or anything else?
First and a second.
We've been waiting on the den for a while.
That's cool.
What?
Still waiting on the den to donate all the hamburgers?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is
I could do 30
item
hamburgers for
H,
500
review,
bucks.
discuss, approve Kit Carson propane donation in the amount of $450 intended to support charitable program.
That's what we used to
What the heck?
yesterday. Not that for 50, but another.
Oh, I was like, what happened? Yeah, oh, the other one.
Yeah, we donated, so this will just, that'll limit the reimbursement. So this is again, another one of those donations, they costing $450 every month, so.
You guys are beating.
They're making my division look bad.
Mr. Hopkins.
Just load down on the cost.
Está heavy the Hawkins.
I don't know who's in charge of the internet over there, but they're holding back.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. First and second, all in favor? Aye.
Hi.
None opposed.
I don't want to have to. Conflict of interest.
There you go. I like that one. Next item, move on to unfinished business, review, discuss, and approve Red River Charter School lease.
See, I did send you guys a copy of the lease yesterday, when I received it. Our attorney's office has been working on it. No significant changes with the exception of a few things that the board had asked, which I believe fall under improvements under like number 10. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Number 10.
Yes. Item 10. Not page 10.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Tony did this one?
Gino did this one,
Gino did it?
but he had his I guess I don't know if she's a partner or what she is, but her name is, no, she's an actual attorney, Megan. Megan Munoz. So her and Gina worked on it because I did talk to her.
Mr. Rouse, have you had a chance to review?
Yes, President Ryle and members of the board, I have reviewed it. Our lawyer is still reviewing it. We do have some questions and concerns about what is there, and the way it is written in section 10 is that we cannot put any additional buildings or classrooms. And that's just a concern because I have 3 teachers in one room. I'd like to bring up again, it was brought up at a board meeting, the possibility of Questa ISD selling us the land. Would love to go forward with both of us receiving an appraisal and having a conversation about that. The lease that we have currently goes until June 30, 26. So we do have a little bit of time. If there is a possibility of purchasing the land from you, then it would behoove us to get appraisals instead of tying up our lawyers and funds and fees going back and forth to try to settle on a lease.
Did we directed them last meeting to start that process, right? To look into.
We have said that we would move with the lease and then we would start that conversation of what that would look like. You did give, and I reached out to a couple of agents out of house, and I'm trying to look on even further as far as Santa Fe to see if we could get somebody to come. What we don't want to do is get the same people that would be doing off of the charter school as well as that. So, and that's kind of been our go-to prior to, like when we get like the blue building and the piece of the piece that sits up there by the well house. We went with the person out of Red River. So.
No, I would like to make a motion to table based off, one, we haven't got anything on that aspect about potential sale, but also their attorney hasn't come back with any changes. So,
Yeah, we received it when you did yesterday afternoon.
yeah, I'll make a motion to table.
Open it again.
No, so it's just discussion?
Yeah, no second, so.
Yeah. You can-
Yeah.
Cause so I wasn't at the last one, so we're thinking about selling it.
We had that discussion, that kind of came from our attorney. But then when we kind of had that discussion, and I did have that conversation with Gino, is, in the sense of if we were to sell, what do you think the value? When he valued, he was looking at the building structure, not just at that. And so it was in a high price range. With looking at just the property range, he says, I'm not a real estate person, but just looking at it, I do real estate law. It's going to drop into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, so if you feel comfortable taking the lease and continuing with the lease, that's totally up to the district. But when we initially looked at it with the building on site, it's probably about 2 to 3 million is about what the cost would be there. But
2 or 3 million is what we would sell for.
if with the building included, but since we don't own a portion of the building, he did say it would come out to about the 150 to 200,000 range is about. And he says, again, I'm not the appraiser. I'm not the person that would give the.
Like also comps, did you look at comps for the area? Or
He
is
did.
it-
He did.
and what's the annual rent, what's the annual rent?
We're paying about
least
68,
it's-
they're renting about 68,000 a year is about what the annual rent is.
68?
And that's
I think it's more, I think it's more towards 60, Mr. Maldonado.
60.
60,000?
Yeah. And that's based on a state rate that's given.
Right, and this is on this lease is a 5-year term?
Yes. And so that's when initially the conversation, when we looked at that, was,
So you could sell it for 200,000, or you could rent it for 5 years and get 300,000?
yes. And see, that's when we talked at the rate of what when it was high, when he was looking at the building itself and the land, at the 3 million, he says, that's gonna take you 30 years to get to that amount, if not more. But when you drop down to that, he says, really,
To just the land.
yeah, you're gonna make that amount of money back in 2 years, 3 years, something to that extent.
I made my mind up.
Well, I guess it'd be worth just to see what the
We can get an appraisal. that's
what
not
the
a problem.
appraisal looks like, and then that will pretty much tell us.
Well, I think we can approve this, even if Red River doesn't like the language, it can come back with revisions and we can put it back on the agenda. I mean, if they feel like going out and getting an appraisal, I think that's fine, or if they even have just an offer that we would be willing to entertain, that's fine.
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing in the lease that says that we can't entertain a transaction even during the term.
Well, and that's what Gino said. Gino says that because the way this was kind of pushed is that we needed this like ASAP. And so he says, let's get the lease, which was kind of the same thing you guys said. Let's get the lease and then we can come back and entertain if that's something. We didn't want to hold up whatever process it was that.
I thought Red River needed the
Yeah.
lease.
Yeah.
No.
I thought this,
Yeah, we had to have it in this meeting.
yeah, so, because you need to apply for your charter.
That's what
Yeah,
that's what the rush was. I
Yeah.
did reach out to, CSD and we're okay. We can negotiate still. We don't have to, they prefer that we go before then in October and they prefer that all ducks be in a row by then. But they also said that it is an important, issue to discuss. So we have a little bit of leeway for discussion at least.
So would you prefer to wait on the lease and entertain a sale, or do you want us to approve a lease so we could just have a lease?
No, versus scenarios, I'd rather us be able to have a conversation about the lease back and forth. As we have in the past, we've always had an open conversation about what it would look like. I wouldn't feel comfortable, accepting the lease right now without my lawyer looking at it or my board members. They have it, but I don't know if they've gone through it. So I feel more comfortable with the tabling and then coming again next month and having a conversation around changes or whatever, or the possibility of a sale.
Because I mean, for us, I think we know that your main concern is section 10, right?
Yes, sir. And then there's some other just like little things in there that when Red River first started, we had portables, right? And so last bill, all of those portables are gone. And so there's some language in there that just needs to be cleaned up, I think, to
Simple
address those
But
things.
the
But
main
yes,
thing
the
is
big,
check.
yes, sir. The
So
big
I
concern is
guess for our
section
question
10.
here, well, since we have it on there, is anybody have any issues keeping or making modifications to that section 10, how it's written?
I would rather stay with my motion and let their attorney look at it so we can just get it approved once and then we're good. Because we still have till October, right?
They have.
and in
Well, they
section
have,
10
yeah,
is
we have
just
to
saying
apply.
again that if you're going to add or build, you have to come to us for approval.
I don't
No.
have a problem
No?
coming to.
Or is it say you can't
It's-
build?
It
nothing?
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah, we have
So
that.
you're
We've
done.
already capped that
Don't
property.
allow it.
Oh,
It's okay.
Yeah.
Unless they consider it an emergency.
well, because
No, it's capped. You can do maintenance.
Oh, maintenance, sorry, yeah.
It's capped at that.
at the current footprint.
Yep.
So what was, I guess Gino or Munoz thought about that? That's the major change to the agreement, right?
They said that was totally up to the district. They said that that's a district call. And that they, completely understood where the district was coming from with that portion. Like you said, when you're talking cost of land and cost of building, also he did kind of ask for a request of like what the size of the land looked like, and he says it's almost capped out size-wise unless you start going upward anyways. So that's they said that was up to the district on how the district wanted to proceed with that.
So did you work with him on this, Jason?
The attorney?
Yeah.
No, this were the recommendations from the board for this section. Yeah.
Okay. Cause I think if we do table, I think we should have, we could have him on the phone, or let's put Gino and them on, maybe we can make some modifications.
Some headway.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's pretty restrictive as far as that portion goes, but I'd hate to not allow you to have some governance in expansion, especially for, because, the number of students to teacher ratio has to, that's kind of the state law, so.
Right, and I will tell you, just, for the benefit of the board, that we don't plan on going over an 18 student cap. We do dual grades. We have pre-K stands alone, kinder sometimes stands alone, but otherwise it's K1 are together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we don't want more than 18 kids because those teachers are already working across, the grade levels and then the gaps that are within those grade levels. So we don't have any, desire to increase our classroom size. Now, with that said, I have a high special needs population, and that's my 3 teachers that are sharing a room. It's the resource room, sorry. And kids are going in and out all the time. There needs to be a little bit of, quiet so that these teachers can do their job, helping these kids in the same areas that you guys are, math, reading, and.
So you do plan on expanding your facility?
So, yes, I had hoped to expand my facility to 2 classrooms and office space for teachers and a bathroom, obviously, because if you have another section, you need a bathroom. And a filing kind of cabinet room, because we don't have any place we're just packed. And please, if you ever want to come and take a look at the campus, please come in. I mean, we welcome you to come and take a look. We're stewards of your land right now. And we invite you to come in and take a look and see what we're dealing with space-wise.
Okay.
So with the capital outlay that you received, will it be enough to make what you need, what you're needing?
So actually, President Rael, that's something that I was going to have put on the agenda for next month, is sharing my facility master plan with you and showing you the plans for the addition that we have the capital outlay currently to do. So that section 10 makes me very nervous when we've gone for capital outlay for 2.5 years now, 3 years, and we've got it finally enough to finish off the campus, and that's what I'd like to do.
Okay, I think I'll second.
The motion's already been, it's already been dropped.
You have to have another motion.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it already died.
Yeah, I thought we were in discussion. My bad.
No discussion will come after your second. You can't do that.
Okay. Well, motion to table.
Second.
First and second, all in favor?
Do a roll.
Oh, you want to do a roll?
Yeah, do a roll call.
Okay. Mr. Secretary. VP Loaza.
No.
Member Snedos.
No.
Member Cordova,
Yes.
President Real. Yes. And Secretary Romero, no. Well. What do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna make a motion to approve this lease, and I'd like to have the attorney on the next meeting to, if we need to make changes, we can, but right now.
So yeah, so the way this works is this takes it off of our table.
Yeah.
We approve. And if they have
If they don't
revisions or
approve it-
recommendations, they can always come
If
back.
Red River doesn't approve what they want, then they could bring it back. But
And
this
that's
is,
to October.
so I'll make a motion to approve this lease.
Second.
You want that change, okay?
Mr. Secretary. Piloto,
Yes.
Member Snows,
Yes.
Member Cordova,
No.
President Real. Yes. Secretary Romero, yes. Well, next on financial reports.
Should be clean,
83,000.
brand new.
Brand new.
There's nothing on there.
Hmm?
It should be clean. Just
Well,
start,
there's nothing yet, right?
yeah, start the school stuff.
You guys had to do it at the time in Nashville.
Oh, here they come. Here's the credit card.
Oh, okay. Use a credit card.
Poodle cash receipts. 50,000.
80,000 in grants.
$83,534 is available. The actual is 49.
Who's on your first page or second?
Looking at page 8.
8.
What's a roller bag?
Is it really back for the campus?
Is it?
119?
Those are the two canopies you got, they come with carry bags.
Oh. Okay. The ones that have the school logo?
Yeah.
Nice.
You got a septic somewhere?
A what?
Septic thing?
The pump being here at the elementary, they have to pump it
Oh,
out
the
to
lift
replace
station?
the pumps. I
Oh,
guess it has like a whole tank.
Has a-
a holding tank. Yeah, hold it and pumps it back out.
No problem with none of that stuff though.
No, they were able to pull that one and fix it and do all that, so
It's working good. Well, we'll test it on the 4th.
we'll test on the board. No, it's been tested, it's good. It's rolling.
You sure?
Put 150 kids in there.
Don't stick your underwear in there, man, that's what we found it now.
5,000 for the Gaylord Reserve.
For what?
And that, and for the Gaylord, that's what it's charging.
Yeah.
How many is that?
6 people?
That place is pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty.
What was the deposit of 156,000?
He didn't stay in the room much, I think.
And 618.
Country bars.
Taos County was like.
Here's Morgan Wallen.
I think the kids and the wife,
Say what?
kids and wife, everybody.
Wanna go to the water park?
You guys like to boat?
Yeah. It's a grand offer.
You buy another Connex? Or-
Store the easels and the baseball stuff there.
How many do we have now?
Easels and baseball stuff.
You come around the same time, so pull the baseball stuff out. Our easels only get used during the show at the end of the year, and then you put the easels back, and then you put the baseball stuff.
One was 123,060 from Taos County. 32,999 for reimbursement from our tech money for the sign.
Thank you.
Is it a 20-foot container?
Yeah, it's a small.
They just have one bar.
What is this? Pre-K.
Since we're on the finances, are finance people gonna chime in the board meetings here and there, or what was the result of our?
Yes, I did talk to Mike. Mike said that anytime we need Amber, just let her know. But he did tell me that, you know, if we could kind of wait and tell her more or less around the time that we should be on finance that so she's not on the entire time. I did talk to Amber. She says, shoot her a quick message and she should be available as long as she knows the dates and the time.
Is ready for the bar?
Been ready all day.
001-IB is the ID number, last section of it for. What does it say here?